update that. We are at 32 subscribers, guys. Not 27. I'd like to get to 50 before June 1st is our goal. At 32. Alright, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our 6th live show that we're doing. Scratch Golf Show. My name's Marco. I'm your host of the Scratch Golf Show. We're going to hang out and talk a little PGA Tour, a little Zurich Classic, little LIV Adelaide recap from the weekend. We go live here every Monday, every Wednesday. Mondays we typically recap the weekend that was from the PGA Tour, and if there's a LIV event or any other event, i.e. a LPGA Tour event, Corn Ferry Tour event that's worth recapping, we will recap it here. Like I said, the Scratch Golf Show. My name's Marco. I'm a scratch golfer, hence the name, the Scratch Golf Show. I wanted my own outlet to talk about golf, so I started my own YouTube channel, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it. So we're going to go live, like I said, every Monday, Wednesday. Wednesdays we're going to focus on the gambling aspect. Monday we just focus on mainly the golf recap, and maybe do some look-ahead stuff. For the betting lines for either the week, or I know we got the PGA coming up here in about 3 weeks. We've got some big-time PGA Tour events coming up in the next couple weeks. We just had a really big LIV event that, like I said, LIV Adelaide that happened over the last weekend. It was a great watch if you're able to stay up. But yeah, I guess let's start with the Zurich, because if you watched our show last Wednesday, I gave out a few picks, none of which were close to hitting. I guess we had the Højgaard brothers who missed the cut on the outrights, which unfortunately I really thought they were going to play well, at least make the cut. We had the Fitzpatrick brothers who came in at they had a top 10 or a top 20, and then they make the cut parlay, which was McIlroy and Lowry, who ended up winning it with our two picks, and then Keith Mitchell and Joel Damon who made it. So really the Højgaard brothers cost us Profitville, because if we would have just hit the make the cut parlay, which I think was plus 376, we would have hit that, and we would have been up at least 1 to 2 units. So unfortunately that didn't hit. The Højgaard brothers kind of screwed us, but whatever. We live and we learn. On to the next week. Like I said, last week wasn't a heavy card for me. From the betting aspect, like I said, we cover that on Wednesday. I like to focus on not only outrights, but specifically 72-hole betting matchups. That's what I've really felt like I've had a good advantage on in finding good value plays for you guys. So if you tail those, we are 6-2 on the year after the Masters and the RBC from last week. No matchup bets this week. If you watched last week on our Wednesday show, we highlighted Lowry and McIlroy as a team to bet. They were plus 750. I did not want to bet them simply because I didn't want to lay anything under plus 2,000 on a team event, the only team event on the PGA Tour. If you didn't get a chance to watch, I didn't really watch a ton of the Zurich this week. What free time I did have this weekend, I was either practicing golf or watching LIV, just because LIV I think had a much better viewing experience. I was able to catch some of yesterday's playoff as well as the second 9 on Sunday, like I said. So I did call out McIlroy and Lowry. I had him in to make the cut parlay. I'm not going to take credit for giving that out as a winner, although I did say they were a team I would have liked if I were to bet them. So it's the only team event on the PGA Tour. It goes best ball, alt shot in the format. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch it a ton. I know it's not a big time event on the PGA Tour. It's not a signature event. It's not a highly let's just say the field wasn't as strong as other weeks in the PGA Tour. And so therefore I didn't really want to view it. I'm not really into the best ball just doesn't seem like a great use of the 2 rounds. I feel like they should go to maybe a scramble or like just go all 4 days all shot for the format. I don't know. That's just my opinion. The best ball, they're just playing their own ball and taking the best score. Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good from the viewing perspective. But I heard the No Laying Up guys talk about this last night, which I thought was interesting. They said that maybe this event next year comes back as a signature event. No thanks. I'm not really. This course just doesn't really do it for me. I think it's TPC Louisiana. It's not a course that really produces like a big time winner. Like McIlroy and Lowry were like the saving grace of the PGA Tour. Like them winning was the best case scenario in my opinion, just from a viewing perspective. I feel like they were one of the bigger highlighted teams that was advertised to be playing in this event. Obviously, to have them come down to not only win but win in a playoff was probably the best. Like I said, the best case scenario for the PGA Tour. Unfortunately, I still think the viewing numbers are going to be down. I'm curious to see what the ratings come in at from the viewing perspective from the event, because like I said, that was probably the best case scenario for them to have those two guys, their two headliners, win. Good for them. I know Rory, regardless of how you feel about the event, it's still a PGA Tour win, so that does count for something. It's just not an event that I really wanted to spend a ton of time watching from a viewing perspective. It's just, even if they had bigger names, it still wouldn't be something I wanted to watch. I'm just not into the team stuff. I think they could maybe incorporate it better, or maybe incorporate match play into some sort of the aspect, because since they got rid of the match play event in Austin, which is an event that I personally loved, I love match play. I love watching these guys play match play. I love that event. I can't believe they got rid of it, but maybe incorporating match play into the team event, or into the team aspect, I think would be an idea to just give it some juice. But ultimately, like I said, it's just not a ton to recap. They beat Martin Traynor and Chad Ramey in the playoff. If you watch the playoff at all, the McIlroy and Lowry just had to make par to win in the playoff. So good for them. Like I said, win number 25 for Rory. He joins the 25-4 club. 25 PGA Tour wins, 4 majors. It's an exclusive club. Typically, the guys on that list are all-time greats. So good on him for getting that done. Like I said, I lost every bet I placed on that. None of them were really that close. We did hit 3 of the 4 on the Make the Cut parlay, but unfortunately, that's the problem with those. When you place 4 or 5 leg parlays, all the legs have to hit for you to win. 3 or 4 doesn't count for anything. You don't get 3/4 of the bet back. So, anyway, I want to spend a little more time talking about Adelaide, LIV Golf Adelaide, which I thought was a really, really cool event from the viewing perspective. If you didn't get a chance to watch any of it, if you've seen any of it at all on Twitter, the mantra of the event is very similar to the Waste Management Phoenix Open that they have in Arizona on the PGA Tour. Lots of partying, lots of alcohol, lots of people. Very crazy event. Australians love their golf, man. They get deprived of golf down there. They love the game of golf down under, and I know that the PGA Tour really hasn't done a ton to grow the game of golf down in Australia. So it's good to see them get an event. Like I said, it was on at like 9:45, so I tried my best to watch most of the event. I think Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I all caught most of it. Saturday I actually passed out watching it. I woke up at like 2 a.m. to it still on in my headphones as I was passed out in bed. But it was a great event. I personally, that was my preferred event to watch this week. I think it is LIV's signature event on their tour. It's only the second year of the tour, but I think they did over like 115,000 across 3 days, which is really good for a tour that's only 3 years old. They have a really cool hole called the Watering Hole, similar to the 16th at the WM Phoenix Open. It's an enclosed par 3 that's shorter, and it's very loud. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure that there was one clip on Twitter of a Australian player who plays for the All-Australian team, Ripper GC, who made a putt, and then they like rained down water bottles, and one of the water bottles accidentally hit the caddy in the head. Which is kind of wild. I mean, it's probably an accident. I'm sure the person who threw it didn't mean to hit the caddy, but still, it's still funny to see. But regardless, it was still a great event. I mean, the whole mantra around the event is awesome. That's That's a fun scene. Like golf, that's how I wish more people viewed golf, was from the aspect of just, not so much just the booze and stuff, but we're here to have fun. Like I think golf has a very certain stigma around it from a lot of the old guard in the game of it's very professional. Like a lot of people, whether it's my age or like the younger generation, really are pushing whether it's the different outfits, the different type of music that they're listening to on the course. Like I love that type of environment, so I wish there was more events like that, whether it was on the PGA Tour or LIV. If you didn't get the chance to watch the event at all, Brendan Steele, if you aren't familiar with him, he plays on Phil Mickelson's team. They're called the High Flyers. Brendan Steele has won, I think, 3 or 4 times on the PGA Tour before going over to LIV. He honestly really hasn't done well. Phil Mickelson's team hasn't done well in general. From the team aspect on LIV, the High Flyers, I think they've only had 2 events where they've finished in the top 3, which for LIV, from the team aspect, I'm really not super into it, but I do watch some of their events. So every event, 3 teams call the podium. So there's the first, second, third. Those are called podium finishes. The High Flyers have only had 2 in their first 3.5 years on LIV. So really struggling from that aspect. But Brendan Steele, he's kind of I wouldn't say he's a journeyman. He's a guy who is more of that grinder aspect of golf, where he shows up, collects his top 20 paycheck. If he has a good week, maybe he's top 10, top 5, and occasionally he'll play good enough to get a win. But he finished at 18 under. When I recapped the event last week, I said that the number was going to have to be around, I think, 20 under. 19 under won last year. It's a course that has a lot of wedges, a lot of par 4s, a lot of scoreable par 5s. The par 3s are all short, I think, with the exception of one. There was a lot of very close hole-in-ones. I don't know if there was actually a hole-in-one or not. Shout out to my guys from the Tour Junkies. I know DB had his lock of the week, was a hole-in-one at plus 150. I'm pretty sure on the first day alone there was a couple that danced around the hole. One hit the flag stick. There was one that lipped out. I don't know if they ended up hitting or not. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch all the highlights from the event. But I love those guys, the Tour Junkies. If you get a chance, give them a follow on YouTube and subscribe. They do a really good job of breaking down stuff from not only the betting aspect from DFS. So if you're into DFS, make sure you check out the Tour Junkies. But anyway, like I said, Brendan Steele was able to get it done at 18 under. Louis Oosthuizen finished at 17 under. If you watched our betting show last week, we had 4 picks on the event. We went 0-4, but we had Louis. Louis finished 1 back. So we're close. I'm going to keep betting Louis, man. Louis's been playing awesome on LIV. T2, again, he was competitive. I know he was in contention in Miami before making a big number on Sunday. But unfortunately, we lost every bet we placed this week across both tours. So stay hot, baby. I'm going to keep firing, though. Shoot or shoot. And I'll find some more winners this week for the PGA Tour CJ Cup for the event that's coming up. But anyway, like I said, LIV, it was a great event, great from the viewing aspect. Sunday was awesome. John Rahm played well. John Rahm, I think, shot Sunday 64. There was a lot of movement on the leaderboard Sunday. Like I said, I literally was up watching the event until about 1 a.m., and then I passed out when I was watching it on my phone. Was able to catch the highlights in the morning. But what was actually really cool, and what I thought was really awesome, was the team that won it. So from the team aspect, like I said, I'm not big into the team aspect on LIV. It's just not for me. I love team golf at the Ryder Cup. I love team golf, really not so much at the President's Cup so much lately because it's been so dominated by the Americans. But I love the Ryder Cup. I think it's fun. I think there is a place for team golf, whether it's in the PGA Tour or LIV. I just feel like LIV, it's what differentiates them. It's what differentiates them from, from other viewing aspects of golf, whether it's the PGA Tour, Corn Ferry Tour, whatever. But it's just, it's all forced. Like, it feels forced. Like, for example, I'm watching it on Thursday, and they're covering, the team aspect. Like, really, no one cares who's winning the team aspect on Thursday. Like, the team stuff is really fun on Sunday, but, Thursday and Friday, it's just, they're constantly updating the leaderboard. It's we can just see the individual stuff, and if there's, a big move on the team aspect, I feel like maybe they can break that down and show that more, but I don't constantly need to see every birdie or every, every movement from every team on Thursday or Friday. I just feel like that takes away from the broadcast. And I actually do think that they do a really good job on their broadcast. I've gone on record saying that I actually have preferred to watch LIV this year from a viewing aspect. I love their commentating team. I think they do a really good job, but sometimes the drama just doesn't need to be forced. Like, for example, this week the team aspect was so cool. If you didn't get a chance to watch it all, like I said, the Australian team, the home team, took it down at minus 53. So how the team scoring works is the first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday, they take 3 of the 4 best scores. So if there's a team of 4 and they shoot 468 or 368s and a 70, 4 under, 4 under, 4 under, and 2 under, they're 12 under for that day. And they take that score and move it to the next day. And then same thing on Friday. But on Sunday, all 4 scores count, which was a change that they made this year, which I think it was a great change. I think it brings the team aspect into it more from the scoring perspective, that all 4 players count on Sunday, and that really creates drama from the team aspect. But the Ripper GC, it's Cam Smith's team. It's Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, Lucas Herbert, and Matt Jones. All 4 Australians. Like I said, minus 53. Cam and I think Matt Jones had really good weeks. I think they were minus 14, minus 15 around there, and minus 18-1. So they were in contention. But it's good for them. I think, honestly, from Cam Smith's perspective, I think he was almost just as happy as the team win. And that's what I actually love about LIV. It's like I said, the drama doesn't need to be forced. You have, from a viewing aspect, the team coming down to the wire. There's never been a team playoff, and this week in Adelaide was the first team playoff. So from the viewing perspective, there was a ton of drama around the course. And since they have a shotgun start, there's 4 players per team. That drama can really change on anywhere on the course. It could be hole 1. It could be hole 12. It could be hole 15. Right? You don't really know when the drama is going to happen from that aspect. So I really think that the team stuff is good when the drama comes and kind of builds itself. But they did, like I said, they did have a team playoff. Both events had a playoff this week. The PGA Tour one was alt shot. The LIV one was a 2-man aggregate playoff. And I much preferred the 2-man aggregate versus the alt shot. I know the Zurich is a little different format. But the cool thing about the LIV playoff format was, like I said, so there's 13 teams of 4 and 2 wild cards. So the 2 teams of 4 was the Stingers, which is the all South African team. It's Louis, Charles Schwartzel, Brandon Grace, and Dean Burmester. And like I said, there's 4 Australians. So Louis and Cam Smith are the captains. They played, and Mark Leishman and Dean Burmester played. So those 2 played hole 18 in the first playoff hole. And if they both made 4, that's a total of 8. So that's what score matters. So it's the 2 combined scores in an aggregate format. So if they both tie, then they go back to 18 and they play 18, so on and so forth. So it looked like the first playoff hole that both teams made 4. Louis actually had a putt to win from about 18 or 15 feet or so. Looked like it was going in, burned the edge. And then him and Burmester finished with 4. And then Leishman and Cam Smith both rolled in like 5-footer, like nervy 5-footers to extend. And that was sweet. The crowd was going crazy. Like, the crowd was like messing with and like getting loud in the South African guys' backswings when they're in the bunker. It was insane, like from a viewing aspect, like how cool it was. It almost felt like a Ryder Cup aspect of just like, it was South Africa versus Australia from the team format. So I think they, like I said, they tied the first playoff hole. The second playoff hole, they both made 4 again. I think the third playoff hole was when the South Africans both missed the green. And it was funny because 18, it looked like they were both flipping wedges. But the greens at the Grange Golf Club are so undulated and they are so like tight and firm that if it bounces at all, it's just going to roll off the back and roll into a bunker or roll into a roll-off because that's how the course is set up. There's not a ton of rough. Everything just kind of runs off. So in the third playoff hole, both South African guys hit a wedge and it hit the downslope and bounced into the back bunker, ended up making bogey. And the Aussies won, which was really cool. I'm sure, like I said, Cam Smith probably loved that his team was able to get that done in front of the home crowd. That had to be really cool for them. They've been like getting a bunch of sellies all around town for that. But like I said, yeah, that was LIV's signature event for the year. I loved it. I thought it was great from a viewing aspect. Obviously, it's just tough to watch for me because they're in Australia and they're way different in the time zone. But I did give it my best to watch. But I think both events were good. Like I said, the Zurich not for me, but from a viewing perspective, Rory and Shane winning, I'm sure was probably the best case scenario for them. Um, so a couple things I want to cover before we jump. We're gonna do a shorter show tonight, but we are starting our new video series called Getting to Scratch. It's gonna be a video series that I myself try and simplify the game of golf for the average weekend golfer to try and improve their scores and improve their game without really investing a ton of money or a ton of time, or just ultimately really changing their swing. I really want to, am big on simplifying things and simplifying the game of golf. The game of golf is truly meant to be simple, and a lot of times where amateurs go wrong is just by overthinking things. So we're doing our first video this week. We're going to get it recorded tomorrow. I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks on how to improve your putting. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're watching this live. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. But like I said, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers before June 1st. We're 64% of the way there. So make sure you tell your friends, you tell your parents, tell your grandparents. If you want to go on their phone, I might do a giveaway at 100 subscribers. So go ahead and smash that sub button, like the stream, comment, and make sure you stay on the lookout. So when I drop that first series, that you, the average golfer, who if you're watching this, can get help on your putting. And we're going to do a ton of stuff with the Getting to Scratch series. So I'm going to do a weekly or bi-weekly video depending on how much time I have. We're going to go through putting. We're going to go through chipping. We're going to go through the field shots. We're going to go through the tee game. We're going to go through your mentals. We're going to go through your practice routine. We're going to go through everything you can think of. And like I said, my goal for this series is to simplify things for the average golfer. So whether you shoot 100, whether you shoot 80 and you're trying to break 70, whether you shoot 90 and you're trying to break 80, tune into this series and make sure you share it, because I think it's going to get a lot of benefit for people who are looking to simplify their game. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not watching this live, make sure you sub and like the channel. Leave a comment. All right. The only other thing I want to do is I'm going to do some look-ahead stuff for the betting perspective. And then one other thing before I forget, if you haven't gotten a chance to watch our first interview with Golf Lover UK, make sure you go give that a watch. It's our first video. It's about 45 minutes. We cover the state of golf. We actually previewed the LIV Golf Adelaide tournament, so if you just want a quick breakdown, make sure you go watch that. And we are also doing some short stuff as well. So if you like daily hole content or like a quick, I might do like a what's in the bag short. Make sure you check that out too. And like I said, just make sure you're subbed, turn the notifications on so you never miss anything if you're remotely interested in the content I have. So, yes. So we want to look at the US PGA. So the PGA is coming up in 3 weeks. It's at Valhalla, famous course. We've had a lot of good winners here. If you gotten a chance to watch the, I think it's the 2000 PGA. It's the Tiger versus Bob May. Rory famously won here in 2014, beating Phil and Ricky in the darkness. It's in Louisville. So it's produced some good winners. It's got some good history with the course. I'm trying to find the course history. Tickets for only $82. That's actually not a bad deal. I might head down to Louisville in a couple weeks. Mark Brooks won in '96. That's who it was. He beat Kenny Perry. And then Tiger in 2000 over Bob May in the playoff. If you haven't got a chance to watch those highlights, go watch Tiger and Bob May in the 2000 PGA. That's a really fun playoff to watch. Yeah, then Rory beat Rory beat Ricky and Phil. Yeah, so it's the week of May 16th through the 19th. If you're interested in all out watching, I just want to get some early look ahead lines from a betting perspective, just to highlight and see if there's any movement in the next couple weeks. It's not a course that I think really favors a variety of players. I think you can, as long as you got to hit it straight, depending on how long the rough is. Scotty, man, plus 350. That's wild. Oh, man. Rory plus 1100. One name I do want to watch is Rory. I just talked about it. If you're new here, I talked about it on our Masters show. If you want to go back and listen to that, just I broke down the betting perspective from the Masters. But I said I wasn't going to bet Rory until he wins a major. But if he gets anywhere around like 15-1, like anything higher than 15-1, you almost have to bet him. It's the course he last won a major at. He hasn't won a major in forever. He's got a good course history here. He just won. He's got, obviously, he had that strut, that Rory strut that we all like to see in his step this week. So he's a name I want to watch. If he gets to 15-1 in the next couple of weeks, I would almost fire a couple units on it just because I think you're getting value in the number. John Rahm, 15-1. Man, that's wild that Ludwig is 15-1. This is his second major, and he's the third odds-on favorite with John Rahm. That kid's got game, man. The book is giving that kid some respect. I mean, he's ahead of... I mean, just look at the names behind him. You got 2 majors, 4 majors, 2 majors, no majors at Ludwig, none with Xander, 5 with Brooks, and you're getting Brooks at almost 21-1. Colin has 2, you're getting him at 29-1. Cam Smith has 1, 29-1. Bryson has 1 at 29-1. Wyndham Clark at 36-1. JT at, dude, you're getting JT. I know JT's not in form, but man, 46-1 compared to Ludwig at 15-1 is insane. Spieth, 3-time majors, 41-1. Fitzpatrick, a major champion, 46-1. DJ, 2-time major champion, 55-1. The book is showing this kid some respect, man. I cannot believe that. That is wild. Anyway, okay, so let's do some look ahead. So I think you just have to bet Scotty blind until he loses. I would monitor him over the next couple weeks, depending on when his kid comes and how that does to his game. I don't know if he's gonna get another start before the PGA. Maybe he'll play Quail Hollow, depending on how like the everything with his wife and his child, if they're okay. But plus 350, man, that is insanely short. Like I said, that's almost Tiger like. Peak Tiger. I think you have to bet him, but I don't love the number 35. 3.5-1 in a golf tournament. I would actually almost bet him to miss the cut before I bet him to win, just because you'll probably get a better number on that. The last time he missed the cut of the major was the 2012 or the 2022 PGA at Southern Hills. Similar type of thing. He had a really good run. Then he finally kind of got a hangover at the Southern Hills and missed the PGA cut. So I would maybe look at that number. Rory is interesting at, like I said, if he gets anywhere to 15-1, I will auto fire on Rory. Ludwig, I'm not going to touch. If he has a bad round at all in the first round, you'll probably get him at double that, or maybe even at least over 20-1. So I wouldn't really touch him until at least after the first round. Xander's interesting. If he's ever going to win a major, it feels like the PGA would be a major he'd win. But I just don't love him at 21-1 when you're getting, like I said, a guy who's won 5 majors right behind him at 21-1. I will auto-fire Brooks Koepka in every major this year. I said I'd do it regardless of how I feel about him. He didn't instill a ton of confidence in me at Augusta. I loved him at Augusta early on. I really thought that we were going to see kind of that run of majors with Brooks, and he just didn't have it. He really played terrible that week. But as long as you're getting the guy over 20-1 in a major, I just think you kind of have to auto fire on him. So if he gets like to 25-1, 26-1, hell, even 30, if he ever even touches 30-1, you just auto fire there. No questions asked. Morikawa is interesting. I've been on of fading him over the last month or so. 29-1 is interesting. I don't know, man. The guy's weird. He can't putt. But he just randomly will play good and win. At Augusta, he was playing terrible, and all of a sudden he's in the final group on Sunday. So, he's interesting. Cantley, no thank you at 29-1. Cam Smith, he played well at the Masters T8. He's played well on LIV. I think for him it's going to come down to his driver. He really generally struggles off the tee. He's good, really, really good around the greens. Obviously, he's the best putter in the world, in my opinion. So for him, he's a number I'd monitor. He's a name I'd monitor. If you get him at, over 30-1, 35-1, take a look. Same with Max. Max is the same way. he instilled some confidence in me at Augusta. He's now coming off back-to-back top tens in majors, going back to the Open last year. So 29-1 is one I'd monitor. The one I really love, and it's gonna sound silly, but Bryson at 29-1, I would bet him now before that number gets shorter. I love Bryson at Valhalla. I love Bryson at the PGA. I love Bryson at the U.S. Open. He's arguably driving it just as well as Rory. He just doesn't get the coverage because he's on LIV, and LIV doesn't draw the viewers as the PGA Tour, and the media doesn't do a fair enough job covering LIV and giving the credit that these players deserve, in my opinion. But Bryson is driving it from a driving perspective on another planet right now. So I love him. So I would bet him at 29-1. I bet him at 35-1. I can't remember if it was for the PGA or the U.S. Open, but I would bet him now before that number gets shorter. I love Bryson at 29-1. Willie Z 29-1. Hovland 31-1. Man, what the hell happened to Vic, man? Vic was playing so good at the end of last year, and he just can't hack it right now. Fleetwood. Tommy, I love Tommy, man. I think he's going to get one soon. 34-1. Wyndham Clark at 36-1 feels like a play. I'm sure the no laying up guys will tell you to bet him. Neiman at 41-1. I would grab Neiman now at 41-1. He played well at LIV Australia. I think the Masters derailed him on Friday. I think he played better than the week than his score that week. So I would really grab him at 41-1. Any really interesting guys down here? Corey Connors at 120-1. That would be one I would play. Louis at 190-1. Wow, that is. I might throw a couple bucks on that right now, as long as he's going to qualify. I mean, like I said, the dude is on another planet, and he's shown he can compete in major championships. Like he's played well in majors in the past. The guy's played, like I said, he's got the career Grand Slam of seconds at majors. He's finished second in every major. So you're getting him at 190-1. If he's in the field that week, I would auto play that just blindly. I mean, he should be closer to 90-1. The books, man. Wild. Who else we got down here? Billy Ho at 280-1. Yeah. So if you're looking for a couple early big plays, bomb plays, Louis at 190-1. The PGA, I think those are qualifying. A top 100 in the world qualify. I don't know if Louis has enough world ranking points to be in there. I have to double check that. But I would bet him at 190-1 if he is in the field. Same with Corey Connors. The dude absolutely stripes it. If he has a halfway decent putting week, you're getting him at 120-1 in a number. Good value there. Okay, so that's the PGA. That's it, guys. Quick show tonight. Like I said, just going to recap the Zurich. If you want to watch the Zurich recap, go ahead and rewind to the beginning. I spent about the first 10 minutes of the show covering the Zurich. Fast forward the 5 minutes of me going live with just the blank screen. But you can fast forward that if you want to listen to my thoughts on the Zurich. I broke down LIV Adelaide, and then if you just jumped in, we've been doing just a PGA look ahead for the PGA from a betting perspective. So if you're not watching live, thank you for jumping in. If you are watching live, thank you for jumping in. If you're not, make sure you subscribe, like, share with your friends if you like the content. If you're watching, like I said, we're gonna drop our new video series, Getting to Scratch, this week. First video putting. Make sure you have notifications turned on so you get if you are watching this. I'm looking at you. If you're watching this and you want to get better at putting without changing your putting technique, without changing a ton in your stroke, give our video a watch. I'm going to record that tomorrow. And then we got some cool guests coming up. We're trying to get some courses around Michigan with the head pro to get an interview and do some course highlight stuff. And then we've also got some cool guests in the pipe just for interviews. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Have a good night. I appreciate you jumping in.